Rubbermaid vertical shed. This one is a medium size, and this is the square footage right here, 106 square feet. Or 3 meter cube. It's a pretty large size. You can see the mesh right here is 4.7 feet this way, and then it's 4.4 feet deep, and it's 6.5 feet high. So that's the unit right there. And this is the box it came in. So it's a very big box, and be prepared to have 2 people to carry this box. This box is roughly 77 inches high, just the box, okay? And then the depth of this box is going to be about 20 inches deep. And width-wise, this box is going to be about 30 inches wide. So it's a big box. It's definitely something I cannot easily carry myself. You will need a dolly to move this thing around, or 2 people that's really strong to carry this. So keep that in mind. It's a very big box. And when this arrives, you should be prepared to either put it in a shaded, cool area while you are waiting to put it together. Because if you don't, you see sometimes they come and there's a little bit of damage in a box, or just sitting in the sun and laying these things on the side, you're gonna get the panels to start to warp. So it's not a good idea to lay this up like this. You probably wanna lay it down. In fact, let me go ahead and show you how big this thing is. We're gonna lay this down. Oh my gosh, this is an awesome vertical shed, but it's heavy. So here we go, I'm gonna lay this down. Ooh boy, here we go, lay it down. It's gonna be heavy, it's gonna be heavy. Whoa, it's heavy. Ah, yeah, see, it's super heavy. This is the shed right here. So if you come around here, you can see this is the way it's gonna look. It opens up, and I like the way that the shed opens where the door opens to the very, very edge. You see how like in this shed right here, the door is gonna open to the very edge of the shed. That way you can get access to everything really easy. For example, the metal shed, this one, the door only opens here, right? So it's harder to get through this area behind here. Or for example, a shed like the treadmill right here, when the door opens, you don't get access to the corner very easy, right? You don't get access right here. So this shed, the Rubbermaid shed, you see the corner, you're able to open the door all the way to the edge, which is like this style that I really like. That way, you can easily load this thing up. So these are some of the features. It's easy and simple to put together. That's what I like, because the metal shed that we had, it took a lot of work, and it has a lot of sharp edges and so many screws to put together. My experience with resin sheds like this one, or the resin shed like this one, or our new resin shed like the Rubbermaid one, is going to be easy to install because there are big pieces that are already pre-put together. For example, this big door right here is one piece, similar to this right here. When you look at it, it's just one big door. All you do is attach a couple of hinges and you're done, and the handle too, right? Versus if it was a metal shed like this one, it's crazy because if you come over here, you can see that this one, you have to attach this piece at the top, you have to attach this bar for structure, this bar for structure, more screws here, a bunch of screws there, and then a piece at the bottom, and just a lot more screws, and there's like screws everywhere that takes a lot of time to put together just the door, for example, right? That's what provides the rigidity. But with the resin, it's easy. Door lock, you can have a door lock, but it's not included. That star means it's not included. You can have a pegboard if you want, but that's also not included here either. But it does have a floor. That's the very important difference between a resin shed and a metal shed. Because if you look over here on our metal shed, I'll show you. Our metal shed does not have a floor. See, it goes straight to whatever floor you have. If you have grass or dirt, whatever it is, water's gonna come in here, right? Whereas with resin always has a floor. For example, this shed right here, the resin sheds will have a floor, and we like it because it makes it easy to install. Everything is included when you are installing it. So that's the nice thing about this resin shed. So this is a new one for us to go with the medium size. This is a medium size shed. So the question is medium, small, or large, or even extra large, right? So here's my theory about the sizes. If you go for something that's very large, like this shed right here, I mean, this one is 8 by 10. Look how deep this one goes. This one goes from here all the way back here. That's 10 feet, right? And then from here to here, this is 8 feet. And the problem of having a very big shed is that you need to be very disciplined on how you store it. You need to have shelves or figure out how to store things and pack it away really well. If you pack it really well, it's hard to get the stuff in the back. when you need it. Or you can be smart and pack around and you have access point from the center and access all the stuff, but then you're wasting the area in the center for you to walk in. So keep that in mind. Having a big, huge shed is nice if you know how to efficiently manage it. We're not efficiently managing it. We have stuff here and there and we lay it up and it fills up pretty fast, right? So the other alternative is getting smaller sheds, right? For example, this shed right here is a smaller shed. This one right here is actually the Suncast 54 cubic feet one. 4.5 feet wide. This way is 4.5 feet wide. And then the depth is about almost 3 feet inwards. So if you notice this one, when you open this up, you can have access to the storage right away. You can pack this to the edge and you can still get easy access in and out. You can add a shelf or whatnot and you can really pack it because you can close this at the very edge and you can still see when you open it everything you pack in. That's what's nice about this. But then you're limited to how much deep it is. So in terms of like a lawnmower, it's not gonna fit in this thing, or maybe if it fits this way, but that's it, one lawnmower. Whereas if you have something a little bit deeper, you can fit 2 lawnmowers or more tools and stuff like that and still be able to pack it really well. So this is a small resin shed. This one that we just got is a medium resin shed. So this one will allow you to have like a lawnmower and lots of good stuff and you have good spacing. So that's why we went with this. So we're gonna add it to our arsenal of all our sheds here. We have good experience with resin sheds, like this Suncast one that we really like. And we have good experience of this Treadmont shed. It's also resin that we really like. And we love to have these sheds to provide us extra storage. And we decided to try a medium size this time because it's gonna give us more space, but we don't have to be super efficient like we do with the Treadmont 8x10, right? Because this one, you have to be super efficient to be able to pack everything in and use that space. And then with the smaller shed, you just don't have a lot of depth. Like it fills up really fast. So I think a medium one is a really good balance. And again, this one is about 4 feet by 5 feet. So it's a good amount of storage. It has 105 cubic feet capacity. It's a good size. So it's getting late right now. It's getting dark. So I don't want to open up the box yet. I'll probably open the box tomorrow and start putting together. Super excited about this. This is our first Rubbermaid shed, but we are not new to the Rubbermaid brand. We've used a lot of their products and their product really holds up. In fact, I think most people would say Rubbermaid is probably the true tested and well-known brand for anything made of plastic, right? And a resin shed is essentially a plastic shed. So you can't go wrong with the Rubbermaid shed. But anyway, I'm gonna put this thing, maybe lay this flat, and then we'll put this thing together tomorrow. But yeah, you can see how heavy the box is right here. And I want to lay it flat because if you think about it, all the pieces, especially like the walls, the doors, and the side, are all kind of laying horizontally right now. And they're laying this way. So the weight of gravity, and if this box is out in the sun, in the heat, during the day, those straight pieces are going to start to bend. And it's not going to be easy to install it when those pieces bend. That's why I want to lay this flat to minimize that potential damage. And still, it's not a good idea to put this outside. So that's why when you get this shed, you should be ready to put it together. And with the resin shed, one important tip I would recommend is make sure you have a flat foundation figured out. If you have poured concrete like we have right here, it's already poured, it's already flat, then you don't have to worry too much. You just install the shed on there and you should be good. Now, if your floor is not leveled, like you have gravel all over and you want to put the shed on top of gravel, that's gonna be bad because these sheds need the floor to be flat. If the floors are not flat, your doors will not close. For example, look over here to the Treadmont. If your floor is not flat, you're gonna have a problem with this piece being flat, and then your doors will not line up properly, and it'll be hard to close, and sometimes it won't even close. And sometimes people say, oh, this is not good because the doors are terrible, they don't line up. Well, they don't line up if you don't have a flat floor. So my tip to install a Rubbermaid shed or any kind of resin shed is to make sure you have your foundation figured out, either concrete or if you have gravel, build your 2x4s, build your plywood on top, do what you need to figure out a foundation before you get your shed. That way you figure that part out and then put the shed on top. But anyway, this is a shed. I'm gonna lay this one flat down so that it can rest properly while we wait for the installation. And the nice thing about this one, because it's so simple to install, I should be able to install it by myself. Okay, I don't want to break this, but you know what? I'll just leave it here for now. We'll work on it tomorrow. So there we go. This is the vertical shed by Rubbermaid. Medium-sized resin shed. Should be simple enough to put together, but I just wanted to make you a quick video to show you guys the size of the box and kind of help you guys think whether you go small shed, medium shed, or a super large shed, and how to use that space efficiently, and whether you are figuring out your foundation now or planning it, start thinking about that. And decide if you want metal or resin. Resin is just easier to put together. The Rubbermaid medium vertical resin shed right here.